sit there. And then he said that. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to sit there.
That's where he passed. That was in '82. But we don't know exactly.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But that's something that has happened here, and you may say to yourself, why do you think a church is haunted? Why would a church ever be haunted? This is the Lord's house, and that kind of thing. Well, he gave a little history. Look at just the cemetery and the bodies that are claimed and unclaimed. You got to think too of all the emotions that come through a church. He touched on funerals. They would have a body here. Weddings, right, that kind of stuff, right. So all that is just sucked into this church, all those emotions constantly. How old is this? 250 years old?
Yep.
This church that's a lot of emotions and energy trapped, because that's what we are, just energy. And we're spirits in human form at this point. So, is it uncommon for a church to be I think, again, we normalize haunting one place. This place is haunted. Or, I do a lot of experiments with ITC, instrumental transcommunication, speaking with ghosts through devices, trying to. I do it in my house, so my wife loves that. But anyways, yeah, I'm always on using different devices in my house, and I do communicate. So it's not you have to be here or there or at Penhurst. So that's that can be done. There may be spirits here, theories, portals, travel back and forth. It's a lot of speculation about theory. So really no sense. Yeah, it's mind-boggling, and I don't know if we'll ever know if you were there. And then scientists believe that there's nothing. It's like before you were born. It's just nothing. You don't remember. I use a lot of ITC stuff because a lot of this stuff is and I don't know nothing against the equipment and all the other stuff that people use, which is good. Of course, EMF detectors, we always want to check for those kind of things. But I guess we use cat balls and REM pods and all this fancy stuff that trap ghosts. But this is the basic ITC. It's an IDC device. It basically uses my body as an antenna. I'm not going to say names or brands because I don't have it. But this device itself does a linear sweep, and we'll turn it on here in a minute. And it does a 3,500 frequencies in a second or so. It's crazy how fast it sweeps through frequencies. We communicate on it. And that was always a theory. How did people come about hearing things? And it goes back a long time. EVPs go back a long time. Our military has caught EVPs. Our military has caught communications with other worlds and other beings. Of course, I'll never say that, but there's been studies out there. And I've sort of tapped into that when I do communications with ghosts, spirits. But this device, you can hear it scanning real fast. And then this one doesn't have an antenna, so I am the antenna. So you hear it increases. It's sort of hard to hear with this one, but it'll actually increase the sound. And then you can change the sweep rate on this. I can't see the card. So basically, this is just scanning 3,500 frequencies in a short amount of time of white noise. And their theory was that spirits could communicate that way through that white noise or a frequency that we can't hear with our own ears, basically. So that's what the government was studying, and a bunch of other people would do recordings and find things. But that's just one device that I use. It's, I know you've probably seen one on TV. And then the spirit box, of course. Oh, this is another IDC device. Well, I promise we'll go this time. I'm just showing you a couple of things. There's so many topics to this.
Get ready. Waiting for connection.
Bluetooth already opened.
Now, in SB7 code.
This is essentially the same as this. This just has an external speaker. You thought you were a ghost. You can hear how fast it's sweeping. So basically what I do is when I start, and I'll turn this off, we'll get it back on, to investigate, we have the history, we know a little bit about the church, this place has really never been investigated. So we want to just make our presence known that, I said earlier, we're here to communicate with you that maybe have passed and non-living. If this is something you're interested in, please come forward and speak. We'd like to talk. We have some stuff that allow us to hear your voice if it hasn't been heard in a long years. He said he's never really had any paranormal experiences. Your son has heard footsteps. Some other people have heard some stuff. And you get a lot into, you hear about poltergeist, stuff that's moving. A lot of times spirits are trying to reach out to say, hey, I have something to tell you, so they'll move a picture, take your car keys, or do whatever. So that's basically what that is a spirit trying to say, hey, I'm here.
So if I have something that's constantly doing that in my house, they're trying to talk to me, they're telling me. I've lived there for 10 years, and it's like they're pranking me. They do it so.
No, I'm not saying they're not mischievous, but they're trying to get your attention, and they did it. So yeah, it's something you may want to do. So again, no one's really investigated here. They are just going about what they knew then, and so we're gonna try to see if we can maybe Ryan will come through. Ryan or Ryan? Ryan. It's spelled R-I-E-R-E-I-N. Yeah. So. This is an external speaker. You can hear it scanning white noise. So I talked about the government doing experiments with frequencies, trying to catch spies and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what that was. So when they did finally communicate, they said, who are we talking to? And they were called technicians. It's an old term used for a liaison on the other side. So the more I do this, the more I communicate with technicians, and I've been a couple through ITC stuff, and one's Miguel. And I've spoken to him several times. What Miguel does is he is a technician that will bring someone forward that doesn't have their own voice or is afraid to speak or can't come forward or doesn't know how. So throughout the night as I'm communicating, I may say technicians assist. I'm trying to get a hold of a technician to be my liaison between us and that world. So if you hear me say that, don't think I'm an idiot. That's what a technician is. That's an old military term. A communicator, technician, stuff like that. So we can let this. I'll let this one here, and sorry about the hair, speed. So as you just cover the speaker, and we talk about if you want to come forward, if there's anybody that can hear or see me, we want to know, or we're letting you know we do recognize you. We learned the history. I'm sorry that if you're stuck here and you don't want to be, I'm sorry if they moved your body and they didn't have permission. They did it for what they thought was best. And they try to put you back to where you belong in a proper place. So if you would like to come forward and speak, this is your time. I have this noisy thing in my hand. I know you don't know what it is, but it allows us to communicate. So technicians assist. Technician, if there's anybody that can't hear me, can you come forward? I never ever told you sometimes it goes funny. I'm going to just try to keep you entertained too. Turn it down here. Technician Miguel, if you can hear my voice, can you come forward and speak to me? What was Ryan's last name?
The green.
DeVries. Technician, if we can bring a Ryan DeVries forward, I would like to speak with him. Ryan, can you hear my voice? And he may have moved on. You know, you may not.
Anxious.
Very
anxious.
You're anxious.
Every time you talk about him, I get very anxious.
Well, maybe he'll come forward.
My heart is racing right now. There's lots of fluttering.
Do we know anything about his personality, what he was like? Did he have anxiety issues or a stressful life or anything that would account for what she's feeling?
I only knew him older, and he was very calm and passive.
Okay.
His family still around his anxiety from the parent
That's true.
with their child died.
Correct. You're right.
If there's anybody that can hear my voice, I can't hear yours. So if you can hear my voice, if you come forward and speak, this will allow me to hear your voice. And you can hear your own voice as well.
Wait, do you want me to sign up a REM pod or something too?
I don't have any.
I have one.
Yeah, bring it.
I just say Ryan has something.
Yeah, whatever you want to set up, you can set up equipment too. We'll talk about that.
Hey, Ryan, do you have some stuff on
Yeah. And that stuff's fine, just a lot of times, no one's ever been here, they may not even know what that is.
Yeah.
But you can set it up, sure. Technicians, it says, technician, can you come forward and speak to me, please? With a K2?
Yeah, it's easy for that, right? Yeah.
There. What he set up there is a REM pod. So if anything comes near it and breaks that electrical field, it'll go off and it'll set off for temperature change. So if you try to touch that, go ahead. See how you break that field? It emits a field of electromagnetic energy. So the thought is, if a spirit comes near that, it will change the color or beep. Just a motion, like a electrical motion detector.
And I always like to say too, that as great as the equipment is, I always like to say that our best piece of equipment is our own bodies.
Right. For sure.
So you may hear something, you may feel something, you may be touched, you may get goosebumps, you may see a shadow, you may get a feeling like Crystal did, she was feeling anxious. So that, to me, is valid as well. So if any of you ever feel anything, feel free to speak up.
Give it a. Who has their phone?
All of us.
So you maybe try the Google Translate to do German.
Oh, there's that too.
This is predominantly German, and I'm not sure
No.
at what point that sort of faded away as far as, people really not. But you got to remember, people that passed then, may not understand fluent English.
Right.
Don't understand. So that's an avenue you can also follow.
And this was the German speaking.
This was the
congregation.
German speaking congregations in here.